Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and I'm here with another Star Wars Destiny video. That's right, spoiler season is upon us once more. It feels like it never ends. We are on set 5 here. We got all kinds of really cool spoilers. Like, they came out blazing here. So we have General Grievous is where we're going to start. Grievous looks really interesting. So his sides are 1, 2, and 3. None of them cost money. So that's pretty solid. He's got the resource. He costs a ton. He's a 20 cost character, but he has 13 health, so that's pretty good. You can put any weapons on him you want, and you can have 4 weapons. Now the thing is, you usually don't want 4 upgrades on a character, because if you do that, when they die, you are dead. So Grievous definitely feels more like, maybe more than any other character, but certainly not more than Palpatine, that once he's dead, you lose, and he only has 13, and you can't rise again on him. So I'm hoping there's going to be some card you can use on him that will allow you to heal him up, because if not, it might not be worth playing him. But his power action looks so enticing. If there are 4 weapon dice in the pool, if his weapon dice deal 4 damage. Just, you don't have to resolve anything, just boom, 4 damage. So what this means is you have to have 4 upgrades on him, which isn't that easy. If you look through the weapons available right now, I believe there's only one cost weapon. So you're really looking at playing several 2 cost weapons and a 1 cost weapon. If we do the math on that one, let's say we find both baby blasters early, we're still looking at 6 resources to play these. That's several turns depending on what you're able to find. I imagine you're going to want to do stuff like Enrage or Well Connected and Truce and all these kind of cards to cheat out a bunch of resources to be able to pull this off really quick. Then the other thing is, you roll him out 4 weapons, they're going to remove one, or you can do that damage. And really the bottom line is, if you're rolling out 4 weapons on a dude, I mean, the 4 damage is kind of irrelevant. It's like, I win, I have 4 weapons on this guy, you're dead. So I don't really know what to think of him. I tend to think he's not going to be good unless there is a great way to keep him alive. I don't currently see that method, but that could come. Like, is it enough to play Force Illusions and Ancient Lightsabers on him? I don't think so, but maybe with the right Guardian character next to him, and I said, if some spell comes out that lets you keep him alive longer, maybe we're in business. Maybe we do stuff like Witch Magic. I don't know. But I'm nervous about this card. I don't think it's going to be amazing. So, but it's awesome. Like, it looks cool. I love this card. I hope it's insanely good. It feels like it's not going to be, though. Alright, next up, General Grievous' wheel bike. Ever since I played the Wizards of the Coast minis game, and I had the wheel bike, I've always wanted a wheel bike to be awesome. So let's take a look at this thing. For 3, support, okay. 3 cost supports are usually not amazing, and this is not amazing sides-wise. 2, a +3, and a 1. Like, they're pretty good sides, but that +3 melee is kind of weird. We usually see support stack being supported by gun characters, so that's kind of interesting. Power action, spend 1 resources to spot Grievous to ready, or spot Grievous to ready the support. So that's pretty dang good. You get to roll this out twice a turn. I mean, that may drive it into playable territory. And of course, let me be clear on this. This initial set of reviews is strictly standard. It is not all the other formats, because everything gets way better in the other formats. So this is just for standard. And then I'll do another video with the other formats. So I don't know, I'm a little bit torn on this card. I doubt it'll see play in standard, but I think in the other formats, like draft especially, this card is just bananas. Like, this card is insane. But I feel like in standard it's probably not going to be quite good enough. Remember, we are looking at 5 full sets of cards plus more. The card has to be busted to be playable, essentially. Alright, Luke. This may be busted. So he has, for a 12-15, this is why it's so good. At a 12-15, he has 12 health. He's already good. Like, I can't think of another 12-15 that has 12 health. And then he has 3 damage sides that are hard to remove because they're not damage. So a lot of cards that would, remove a damage side can't touch this die. And you have the flexibility of, do you want to shield, do you want to damage? So it feels like you can make some really cool decks that are based around shields and using shield mechanics like Rapace, because you can take shields whenever you want. He has 3 shield side. Maybe a Taru's Strike becomes amazing. I don't know. But that's really strong. And then his power action to me seems very good. Move a blue ability to another blue character. That is really strong. So, like, you get to... One of the problems with blue hero has been, I don't know, can I play blue abilities, right? At least with blue villains, you're like, whatever. It costs me 0 because of the holocron, so when the character dies, okay, I'm fine with it. The problem has always been, for me, like, do I want to play a force throw on one of these characters, and then when it dies, I have to draw the redeploy at the right time? Doesn't really seem worth it. But with Luke, suddenly this is all worth it. You're like, oh, Luke's getting a little damaged. I'll, right before he dies, I'll move it over. Or even better, just, I'll play one on Luke. I will use him. Then I'll power action it over and use the other guy. And so, instead of getting 1 rollout on your force throw for 3, you're getting 2 turn 1. That's pretty dang strong. So, I'm pretty excited about this Luke. I think this Luke is very good. I haven't thought carefully about like what combos this is going to work with, but certainly Rey 2, 15 plus 15 isn't bad. Ayla, of course, is insane because you can do stuff like Profitable Connections still. That sounds really strong. So I think this Luke is really good. The only issue, I guess, is like, is this Luke better than Rey 2 at the exact same cost? I kind of think yes. I'm real excited about this Luke. This Luke looks very strong to me. Luke's Lightning Rod, only 2 cost. Alright, that's good. 3 sides with melee, so it's like a slightly worse heirloom sides-wise, but it gives up redeploy. While this upgrade is attached to Luke, you may resolve the melee sides as if they were shields. That's a little bit less exciting. I mean, that's something. Okay, you can keep Luke alive forever, perhaps. But I'm more excited that it's 3 melee sides. 2 of them are 2s for only 2. That may be the strongest weapon we have in the game for like straight damage for only 2. Like Ancient might be better because that +3 you can link up usually, but this is incredibly strong. This is a great guard target as well. So this card is going to see play. I don't care that it doesn't have redeploy. It doesn't have to. It's good enough. It's pretty impressive that we've already seen a couple cards that are going to see a lot of play with as many sets as we have. All right, Underhanded Tactics. It's an ability, 1 cost, 2 specials, which deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent. You may resolve another one of your dice. This card looks terrible to me, like beyond the pale terrible. Yeah, like it just looks terrible. I would rather have On the Hunt straight up every day, all day, and I would never play On the Hunt. So, I don't even think this card is good in any format. Like, I don't even understand what the point of printing this card is. And maybe I'm missing something, but it just seems so bad that in no format will you ever be excited to play this card, which is when you've probably not designed properly. Alright. This card, Bo-Katan Kriz? Sure, I'll go with that. 15-20, so we're right back to this crazy town expensive territory that we're at with Grievous. 12 health for a 20. That's usually not that exciting. You can include yellow villain upgrades in your deck. What? That's really interesting. Alright, special, deal 2 damage to a character or 3 damage instead if this character has 1 or more villain upgrades. So, yeah. That is 3 damage sides, which are at least 2. A 2, 2, and a 3. Or maybe a 2, 3, and a 3. That's very strong. Like, she has really, really strong damage sides. The fact that you can include yellow villain upgrades is very interesting. I hope some really good testing was done on this card. Because Crime Lord now can be in hero decks or insert any other card there. Like, the obvious he doesn't like yous and things like that are just good. But is Crime Lord broken in the right hero deck? I don't know. She's 20 though for 2, which is very limiting. You don't get a lot with her. So like a Crime Lord deck would be hard. It'd be hard to make tons of money with her. But yellow is the way to do it, right? You've got Truce, Maz's Castle. You can probably pair her up with somebody who makes a lot of money. I'm not saying, by the way, Crime Lord is the only card to be looking at. It's just like the obvious first. Like, is that broken? Let's make sure it's not. I'm going to assume the playtesters were clever enough to go there first as well. It is not broken. But she's definitely intriguing. I gotta say, I don't like any 15-20 character unless the character has a broken aspect to them. Like Sabine's broken aspect is she has to roll in and do damage before you can mitigate it. And then when you include jump with that, it means they can't do anything and they get locked out. There's not a lot of 20-point characters that I am excited about. So I'm not excited about her either. I'm very excited about that ability. I'd be terrified if that ability was on like a 9-12 or something. It's a little less terrifying on her. But she's definitely intriguing. She's probably the most intriguing card of the set. Yeah, and for draft, she'll be... not draft, because draft can already use villain cards. But for other formats, it could be really interesting and open stuff up. But for standard, I don't think so. I don't think so. Hopefully I'm wrong and there's some really cool thing. Built to last. Plot. Super excited there's more plots, by the way. Each of your unique upgrades has the redeploy keyword. After you play a unique upgrade, you may exhaust this plot to gain a resource. Wow. That is by far, not even close, the best plot we've seen. Like, this is bananas broken good. But at 4, the question is, how good is it, right? Because what it would be amazing in is like 3 and 4 character decks, but if you're already taking 4 away, at 26, a 3 character deck is already tough. Like, that's... You're not going to get that good of characters at 26. So, let's see, what is that? 12 for Ayla and 2 7s would get you to 26. Boy, I don't know. I'm not sure it's good enough in that spot. The point is, though, where I think this is going to really shine is in a 3 character deck where suddenly you play almost all unique upgrades. They all have the redeploy keyword, and then you just destroy the world. The problem is I haven't done this search myself, so we're gonna do it on the fly here. How many just unique upgrades are there anyway? I mean, I am not sure that there's really... I can't think of one unique up... Okay, I can think of a couple actually that are cheap. Rey's lightsaber is only 2. I think Luke's new staff was also unique, and that was 2. So I'm just looking through upgrades real quick. Not a lot of unique stuff floating around, and that's really what's going to be interesting. Is I don't think this card is going to shine and be worth 4 until you can essentially have a whole deck, or not a whole deck, but a lot of unique upgrades. I think you really need to be able to take advantage of that, and that can't be 4 cost stuff. It's got to be in the 2-3 cost range, mostly 2. Yeah, at 3 we have all kinds of stuff. Of course, we have the named sabers, but 3 is still a lot. We need some more at the 2. I think at 2 we've got the light side has more than the dark side, because if they have Luke's thing, Rey's, Poe's. Light side might be able to pull this off, actually. So that's a really intriguing card that I'm excited about. 26 is a lot. Like, you got to give up a lot to be able to pull this off, but if you can, it's going to be pretty amazing. Formidable. Haven't even seen this card yet. Special, 2 of them. Deal 1 damage to an opponent's character. If that damage was not blocked, you may move an equipment or weapon from that character to another one of that opponent's characters. That is a really interesting card. I think that's quite playable, actually, and it might even be surprisingly awesome. And not even for the obvious reason. You know, the obvious reason is they put their weapon on a guy, you have the other guy almost dead, you move it over, you kill them, it goes away. That's the obvious, easy, amazing, super duper blowout play. But what about the play where it's just simply you roll it in? Now if your opponent ever rolls in a character with an equipment on them and it rolls well, you just move it over to the other guy and it's gone. And they have to re-roll it out, or hopefully they've already rolled that character out. It really makes the game tough for your opponent. It gives them a lot of rough decision points. It's kind of interesting that it has 2 shielding sides to, you know, help keep this character alive, and then it's got the 2 melee, which is an awesome, like, hey, there's just melee on here. I like this card a lot. I think it's going to be an interesting card. I don't know how much play it'll see, because it kind of depends. Like, the weapons and upgrades are just so good right now. A lot of decks can't fit something interesting like this, but it's certainly really, really interesting, and I am very intrigued by it. Alright, Furious Assault is next. Spot 2 red characters or General Grievous to roll all weapon dice on one of your characters into your pool. This card seems bonkers to me. There's a lot of decks right now that get to the end game with 1 character, with 3 weapons. This card seems like borderline broken in that deck, right? Like, you roll out your guy, you resolve a bunch of your weapons, then you do this for 2, and you just roll out 6, 7 more damage. I'm kind of worried about this card. Like, this card is really, really good. It's villain only, so that's going to be interesting. Of course, this would be bananas with Grievous with 4 weapons, but I don't think that's that likely. But I guess I didn't even I just read the card but didn't read the card. Spot 2 red characters is not easy, so this card actually is not that good because it's really only going to be used with Grievous. I don't think Grievous is a real threat. So I like this card that it augments going all in on Grievous, so that's really cool. Like, if you do decide to go all in on Grievous, which I don't think is going to be all that strong, having this to help it is good. I'm glad that it's limited essentially to that, because otherwise this card would be broken. So it went from broken to totally fine in simply reading comprehension. Alright, here's Grievous. We're back to him. So that wraps up today's spoilers. A pretty exciting list. Even the spoilers that don't look like meta cards and really impactful seem cool, fun, and interesting. Like, I'm going to be playing this Grievous. I won't take him to a major tournament, but dang, he looks fun and interesting. So, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. Apparently there's going to be more spoilers coming up. That's exciting news. Like and subscribe below. Remember, if you are interested, there is going to be a 10,000 subscriber giveaway where I'm giving away all kinds of Destiny stuff. My regionals playmat, Spock Lost Phasma, Comic-Con, Luke Invader, all kinds of other stuff. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite spoiler? What's your favorite card in this? What's going to be the most impactful in the meta? I'll see you next time on Tiny Grimes Games.